What's up, everybody? Dog 985. There's levels to this. Welcome to another episode of the Gamer's Perspective podcast. Now, let me make sure the audio is good and that you guys can hear me. Okay, it does. It sounds good to me on this end, and yeah, let's have this conversation. So it's been about a month since I've done one of these podcasts from the gamer's perspective. And the reason is I've been mostly occupied with what the title of this podcast is, which is From Console to PC. And now I got my PC back in April, my desktop PC that is, but I really have embraced documenting this entire journey a lot more. And I got to be honest with you, the audience has been very receptive to it. The audience has been very supportive of it. Those videos that I have up from console to PC have been doing extremely well, and it's a combination of people that are just like me, curious about PC, and then it's a lot of people that have already been gaming on PC that are enjoying watching my journey. One of the unique things that I see or that I believe that I'm doing is that I'm documenting the journey from the beginning, and I'm documenting the good and the bad. So I am not afraid to tell you when something is failing or when something is winning. But along the way, I've had tremendous amount of help and people reaching out and people saying that they want to help me and all that other stuff. And I'm definitely grateful for the whole thing. So let's talk about this real quick. From console to PC. The truth is that what the PC offers me, I've been wanting this for a while. I've been wanting this for a long time. If you follow my channel, you know me as an Xbox centric channel. I rep Xbox, the Xbox Series X, and Game Pass extremely hard. Like I, if you watch my content throughout the years, you know I love me some Game Pass. And at the beginning of this generation, it was real easy if you were an Xbox fan to root for me and see me back up game Xbox and Game Pass. Especially when I was new to Xbox, I was experiencing all the great hits that they had during the 360 era, the Xbox One era, and even the Xbox Series X era. Because I will say that they have had great games this generation as well, despite of what somebody else might try to tell you. But the truth is that, and this is not a lie, everybody knows this. The truth is that I chose the Xbox Series X this generation versus the PS5 because I fell for the power narrative. Now we got to go back a little bit. It was a few years before I started YouTubing that I actually got to experience PC gaming for the first time, but it was in the form of a laptop. I had a Dell, I think it was like a Dell 15 or something. They had a 1050 Ti in it, and I remember I watched this guy by the name of his name was Dave 2D. I think I'm pretty sure he still makes videos, but he makes laptop reviews, electronic reviews, all that other stuff. And I remember him saying that this laptop was a good laptop. So I went ahead and I bought it. I had started going to school again, and I needed a decent machine, so I went ahead and pulled the trigger and I bought it. I don't remember exactly what the price of it was, but I know that it was a gaming laptop. It was a 1080p screen and it had a 1050 in it. It was mobile GPU. The first game that I booted up on that was Crysis 3. No, 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 not Crysis 3. It was Far Cry 3. That was the first game that I booted up on it, which is a PS3 slash 360 game. And I remember when I played that game and I saw what it looked like on the PC, it blew my mind. Now, back then, the gap in visuals between consoles and PC was humongous, was huge, huge, or at least that's how I remember it. I remember playing Far Cry 3 and being just amazed. No, the difference was ridiculous because I remember also after that, I played the Assassin's Creed 1 through 3 plus the Ezio collection, right? I played all of them on PC on Ubisoft, and I also had them on my PS3. And again, I couldn't believe how much better they looked on PC. I was blown away. I was astonished, right? Now, during that time, I already knew Isomotion Gaming. We actually worked together, and he was already a PC gamer, but maybe not as big as he is now, right? But he was already dabbling there because I do remember that he bought the God of War, not Ragnarok, the God of War 2018 PlayStation Pro bundle because he was a God of War fan, stuff like that. I don't think you could catch him dead today buying a bundle for a console, even though he has all the consoles. But I don't think he'll spend that much money on a bundle. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But regardless, I remember he saw the gaming laptop and he made fun of it. He was gaming on a desktop and he was like, I guess this will do, Doc, right? And then we just went from there. But I remember that experience when the consoles were coming out. One of the things that later on I went ahead and upgraded that laptop and I got myself an Asus Helios 300, excuse me, that had a 1660 Ti in it. I think it had an i7 and a 1660 Ti. And I remember that laptop was better than my previous laptop. Now the problem with the laptops is that you can't upgrade individual components, right? You got to upgrade the entire machine. But I remember that one when I got that one. I don't remember what excuse I made to get that one myself, but I did. But when I got that one, that the games ran and looked great on that as well. And that one had 144 hertz display. And yeah, just everything was great. Everything was beautiful. Now, the next consoles were about to come out, and I specifically remember people comparing the Xbox Series X to a PC graphics card. I remember this. It's almost like exactly what's happening with the PS5 Pro. It's almost like deja vu that people comparing a console to a PC essentially is what they're doing. I at the time did not know any better. I believed that this thing would run games the same way my PC did, and it was going to run games at unlocked frames and it was going to run games at high fidelity. And then Microsoft and Xbox themselves advertised 4K 60, which to me 60 was great, was good enough. 60 was like, yes, this is amazing. Because again, I had remember playing games like Assassin's Creed on the PS3 at 30 frames and then playing it on my PC, which ISO was telling me was a weak laptop, and it was still running games amazing. So yes, I was excited for the Xbox Series X and the power promise. And then they kept doubling down with things like I'm so sorry. The mic turned off on me. But I'm back. But anyways, it 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 put me in a state where I remember what's it called? I remember games like Assassin's Creed running at 30 frames, and then I would run it on my PC and it would run at above 60. So I thought that the Xbox Series X was going to do something similar to that. But it didn't. Once I got the Xbox Series X in my hands, FPS boost was amazing and kept that dream alive. The games that came out at the beginning with the Xbox Series X, like Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon 5, kept that promise alive. The games looked amazing and ran great. I remember what's the other game that came out? Psychonauts, same thing, ran amazing, looked great. Everything else was boosted 4K 60. I'll play Ninja Gaiden 4K 60. Like the Xbox Series X was literally doing what it was promised that it was gonna do. I still didn't understand the limitations. I remember the first game that had me questioning things was Gotham Knights. I remember that. I remember I was upset and I was like, what do you mean it can't run? What do you mean it can't run at 60? Oh, and actually before that, I believe it was Grand Theft Auto 5 because they dropped a patch for Grand Theft Auto 5, but you had to like pay for it for the upgrade. No, it was even before that. Grand Theft Auto 5 was stuck at 30. And I remember I didn't understand that because my 1660 Ti could run the game higher. I didn't fully understand what was going on. I made a video when I compared my 1660 Ti to my Xbox Series X. And I remember, if you guys don't know him, he's a pretty popular YouTuber. His name is Griffin Gaming. He roasted me. He destroyed me. Said how dumb I was for comparing a PC to a 1660, my PC to an Xbox Series X. Consoles and PCs were different, all this other stuff. And then his the chat destroyed me, everything. And you know what? I accepted it because I'm okay. I'm okay being wrong. I'm okay accepting if I'm ignorant about something. It's not a problem. So I did. I said, okay, you know what? So I can't compare them. What up, Kings? I said, okay, so you know what? I can't compare. I can't compare the console to a PC. And from that point, I tried my hardest not to compare them, but I still knew the capability of the Xbox Series X. Redfall then dropped, and that dropped at 30 when the box said 60. And I remember I was upset. Starfield dropped, that dropped at 30, and they said that it was a decision that they made for stability or whatever the case may be. Even though the Xbox Series X had VRR support, so if you had a screen with VRR, like they could have at least done that. Let the game run at 45 frames, whatever. And they had games like A Plague's Tale Requiem that had the VRR support and everything at 45 frames, but that's neither here or there. And then for me, the straw that broke the camel's back was when they dropped Hellblade at 30 frames as well. And then I was just finally like, okay. Now before Hellblade, I saw a deal on another gaming laptop, which is the current gaming laptop that I have now. And this one is a monster. This thing has an i9 and it's got a 4070 in it. It is a beast. And I remember the sale that they had was something like $700 off of the original like sticker price. It was crazy. Went ahead, I pulled the trigger, and that to me, I remember I called it my Xbox Series Ultimate. I think that's what I called it because I think I called my PC. I forgot. I called it something. Xbox Series Extreme or something. I don't know. Because I was still Xbox. It's just that I like that Xbox allowed me to play their games anywhere, wherever I wanted. The gaming laptop did me well. It did me extremely well, and I really liked it. Then I went ahead and I got myself a Asus ROG Ally, and it was just because of the novelty of something new. I remember when the Steam Deck came out. I still had a Steam Deck. I didn't seem too intrigued on it because again, I saw that it was mostly Steam, and I didn't have a really big Steam library or anything like that. But when the Asus ROG Ally came out and it had Xbox support, like there was literally, I remember when I bought it, the box had a Xbox Game Pass sticker on it, and it came once you load it up, it came with like 3 months of Game Pass, 3 months of Game Pass for free or something like that, right? So I was I was all about it. Let me get the Asus ROG Ally. So I got that. So at that point, I was in a place where I still had my Xbox Series X, I still had my PS5, had Asus ROG Ally, and then I also had the gaming laptop. And then one day, just walking through Walmart, I saw the gaming PC. I saw the specs of it. Came back home, did some research, and I think that was around the time Hellblade was about to drop. And they said Hellblade was going to be at 30. And I remember I was upset. By that point, I had made videos showing the Asus ROG Ally running Starfield better than my Xbox Series X, and I knew that there was no way that my Asus ROG Ally had more power than the Xbox Series X, and it doesn't. It didn't. I remember seeing the community defend it, the 30 frames on the Asus on Starfield. People were saying it's too complicated. You can save sandwiches everywhere. That's why it wins at 30. And then, Lord and behold, they came out with a patch, which means that I was right. The Xbox Series X all along could have ran Starfield at 60 frames, and everybody else that was mad at me for even calling that out, I didn't get an apology. They were wrong. But no need. Apologies not needed. But all that came full circle then with Hellblade, and same thing. They made a cinematic decision, and I said enough. Enough of me believing this lie. I saw the PC. I looked it up. It said 1080p. It's a monster at 1080p games, and I figured, yeah, I could do that. Let's go ahead and get it. Let's pull the trigger. Pull the trigger. I got it, and haven't looked back ever since. My Xbox Series X is not even connected to the TV anymore because the PC has replaced it completely. Now, I no longer see my PC as just another Xbox like I used to say. I used to say that a lot. I used to say my PC is my Xbox, and I remember people getting upset about that, and I didn't fully understand why. And the reason is because when you call your PC an Xbox, you're limiting the PC. That's essentially what you're doing. And one of the best things about PC is the fact that it's not limited. That's literally one of the best things about it. So I no longer consider my PC my Xbox. I consider my PC a way to play Xbox, but it's also a way to play PlayStation as well. And it's a way to play these games, the majority of these games, better than what the console could give me, or at least giving me full control, which is, to some people saying, I just want a game. I don't want to have to toggle with settings and all this other stuff. You could treat a PC that way as well. You could just turn on the game, and the game is going to figure out what type of monitor you have, and it's going to figure out what type of system you have, and it's going to try to run the game as best it can based on your hardware. Now, the discrepancy that I have with this PC that I would have to change settings regardless is that I have it attached to a 4K TV. So because I have it attached to a 4K TV, it's automatically going to try to run games at the native resolution. I think there's only one game that I have started from scratch that it didn't want to run at the native resolution, and that was Forza Motorsport. But everything else, it'll try to run it at the native resolution, even if it's only going to give me 25 frames. Like, the PC doesn't care. So in that essence, I would have to go ahead, go down and switch the settings of the resolution of every single game whenever I load it up. But I know that seems like a hassle, but I promise you, once you figure out how to mess around with settings, you're gonna like being able to tweak the game to whatever level of frames that you want, whatever level of fidelity that you want. The gold standard right now is 1440p, and like I said earlier, this machine is a 1080p machine. But I've learned so much with things like upscaling, which is the same thing that the consoles use. Right? Like, all right, we're back. We're back. So same thing. But I've learned so much when it comes to upscaling and FSR and all that other stuff, and which is the same thing that the consoles use. So I don't regret learning about it. I think it's good, and I can run games on this PC, especially older titles, at 4K natively if I want, or at 4K with the upscaling, 1440p, and even a lot of the newer games I can run them at 4K with FSR performance and stuff like that. So I love that I have that option. And if I want to, I could go ahead and use the full power of the PC, which is 1080p. And like I was playing earlier, I was playing Ghost of Tsushima at 144 frames. Why? Because I can. Because you can do that with the PC, and It's beautiful. I'm learning from the PC community about RAM. Went ahead, had to get some more RAM. I'm learning about airflow. I'm learning about power supply. I got lucky with this PC as well. I learned that I have an AM5 platform, which means it supports DDR5 memory, and it's got a really easy upgrade path. So man, it has been a journey. Do I miss gaming on console? No, not really. Do I see the value of console still? Of course I do. I will never knock a console. And even the new Xbox, when they drop the new Xbox, depending on what features it has, I'm probably gonna cop it. Especially if it becomes like a handheld and stuff, right? Like, yeah, I mean, it might be a better handheld than my Asus ROG Ally. It might be because I have the original Asus ROG Ally. It might be. I don't know, but who knows? Maybe I will. Who knows? But that's why when I see the PS5 Pro, and nothing against the PS5 Pro again, for those of you that want to get it, but for me, as someone with this gaming PC, before I drop $500 or $700 on a PlayStation 5 Pro, I wouldn't do that. I would upgrade my PC before I did that. It's just not financially smart to do that, and it just doesn't make any sense because it would do the same thing that my current PS5 is doing, which is just sitting back there collecting dust right now. So, this journey from console to PC has been very rewarding, and I want to see where this takes me. I have a few surprises for the channel, and I think this is gonna go well. The only thing that I find very interesting is that when I pivoted from repping Xbox really hard and essentially threw into white flag when it comes to the whole console war thing, which was like 90% of my content, I think it's so ironic that when I did that, that's when the PlayStation fans and content creators started attacking PC. Not because of me, right? But it's funny that it happened around the same time. Now I won't engage in a console versus PC war because that's to me is ridiculous. It's an unfair battle. The PC will always beat the console because you can upgrade it. And even my PC is going to be able to run more games better than any console can. Now, maybe the new games will run better on the consoles than they will on my PC. But as soon as we try to, go back to older games that are locked at 30 on the console, and there's a lot of them, that's it, I win. Now, the PlayStation 5 Pro is supposed to have this PS boost as well, which we'll see what that looks like, and hopefully maybe it's a driver level way to unlock things. I think that'll be awesome. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I see you, Kings. King says everything else will be on PC because it's just better. And I don't think these consoles have anything to lose necessarily by putting their games on PC. I do think that PlayStation is doing it the smartest way possible if they want to keep their hardware relevant. Because now that I'm on PC, I see how this truly does make the Xbox irrelevant. I don't see why anybody that has a powerful PC would buy an Xbox. I really don't. See, I bought my Xbox before I got my PC. But I don't see. I'll tell you this much too. Now that I'm on PC, I don't see myself buying games on consoles. I don't. I'll continue to use Game Pass on the consoles and I'll use Game Pass on my PC. But if I'm going to purchase a game, I'm purchasing it from Steam. I don't see the reason for getting a game on a console. Because again, my backlog on PC is going to stay with me regardless of what hardware I get. And I think that's the biggest difference. These companies don't have to keep making their consoles backwards compatible. Now Xbox is leading the front on that, right? And they're making sure that they got the most backwards compatibility as possible. And apparently going forward, it's going to be the same thing. but there's no guarantee, right? PC, yeah, well, you buy something on Steam now, more than likely 20 years from now, you'll still be able to play it. Except for ones and twosies, like games that have like weird files that might not work with like Windows Direct or stuff like that. But for the most part, yeah, it's really impressive stuff. And you don't have to worry about remakes and remasters, which is also really nice. The PC, like you are your remake and your remaster. If I'm playing a game today like Hellblade at 1080p or 1440p with FSR, but I gotta play at medium to low settings, all I gotta do is upgrade my hardware. And if I upgrade my hardware, I can automatically, and I'm using quotation marks right now, get the remastered version of that game once my hardware is able to run it better, without having to buy a $10 upgrade for the game, or without having to wait for a patch. If I upgrade my hardware, I upgrade my gaming experience. And I think that is, man, that is unmatched. But guys, I didn't want to make this video too long. Just a quick 25-minute video, the Gamer Perspective podcast. I appreciate you guys rocking out with me. I'll post this up on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to see these things live, just follow me on Twitch. If you want to interact with the chat on Twitch, like shout out to Lester that's in there right now. Go ahead and subscribe to me on Twitch, and yeah, you can go ahead and chat. Plus, you'll be able to skip ads too. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm not sure if YouTube's gonna put ads on this. It probably will though. You already know how that goes, but it is what it is. Thank you guys for rocking out with me. Jack Dog 1985. There's levels to this. We out. Peace.